Hello. Welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. I'm your host of Ms. Courtney Webb. And I'm the strange and the wonderful. As you can see, I had dressed up as a lovely clown dolly as the clown. Honk honk. And Dahlia is dressed as a witch. Due to some technical issues, my guest might be coming in late. So how y'all been? How y'all doing? Everybody doing good and everything? So what y'all plan to be? This is all special episode too. This is all Halloween episode. Ooh, spooky. Let me go find the sound effect. We had sound effect. I'm so awkward. Ew. Okay, hang on. Welcome to our spooky time. If we have it. Okay, hang on. Space. Da-da-da. You know what? No, try all these musics forward. We'll see what we got. What we got going on. It's clapping. Oh, we got feeding the ducks. Yeah, you like this music? Oh, there's my level. Stefan, he is gonna be Jack Skeleton prowling. Ooh, isn't that spooky and nice? Okay, let's see. Let me connect. Oh, jeez. Hang on. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I had this. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties lately. Damn it, October. Why must you do this to me? Anyway, we got some good music going on. Okay. Yeah. Oh, have y'all ever seen any nice horror movies lately? Any good Halloween films going on in this spooky month of October? It's almost end. This is the Halloween episode. Ooh, spooky, spooky, spooky. Come off that music. Let's take it off. Let's it off. Last time I had the music on, it just kept on clapping and it kept going all the time. And I'm like, no, stop it, please. I don't want to loop. What is going on? Ah. I'm trying to figure out something. What is going on? No, I don't want to change the name. I look like a fool. I mean, this is what I get for letting Alt the Clown video edit my stuff and everything. Thanks, Alt. That's what you get. Okay. Oh, we got someone from Live Stream Consciousness. They say, hey, what's up? And hey, what you trying to do? What I'm trying to do? I'm having technical issues with my guest. I'm trying to add to the video, and it's not letting them get on the show at all. And I'm like, why must you do this? Well, I could go a little backstory of who my guest is, who I'm hosting today. Her name is Tiamat Legion Medusa. She had modified her whole body to be a dragon lady. And I had some cool pictures we can show you what she looks like. Since we're having some technical issues and stuff and everything. Hang on. Share screen. Okay, hang on. Clone tab. Yep. Oh, I got Michael was in coming in. Hang on. Chill. Nope. Hang on. What is going on? Okay. Hey, Michael, what's up?
What's happening? Are you having some problems?
Yes, I am. It's all my guesses in. She cannot connect to the live sound to connect to the video, and it
Oh,
always say like disconnected from the microphone and disconnected from the video, and I can't add to the chat.
wow. I thought I would jump in here. I thought I would see her, but she's not here. No.
No, she's not. We're trying to add on stuff, and she keep going back and forth, and it's still not working.
I got you. All right. Well, I see you got some content all prepared, some pictures and stuff.
Oh, let me see.
Looks like she's
No,
there. It says her devices are not connected.
connected. Yeah.
So she's got to like enable her microphone and camera
Okay, hang on. Let me
on her
see.
phone or on her computer.
Yeah, hang on. Enable your microphone.
So I'm just going to talk to everybody who's watching. Welcome to the Stranger Wonderful. I was excited to just sit back and watch this episode, but I saw Courtney was having some problems, so I jumped in to try to help. But I'm excited. I was telling Courtney earlier how proud I was when I looked at the YouTube channel.
Got a message back. She says she's trying, but it won't let her.
Okay. Is she? Oh, she's on the private chat there. I see.
Yeah, she's on the private chat.
Let me talk to her here.
I might have to reschedule.
Yeah, you might have to reschedule with her. That's unfortunate.
I'm still not connected.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, most of the time StreamYard is pretty easy, but I will say that everybody I see on StreamYard eventually has a problem. Somebody has a problem connecting. So not all devices are super easy. Some of them, give a problem for some reason. They're just
my computer was giving me problem. I'm on my mom's laptop right now.
Right. There you go. So, but a lot of people try to connect with their phone. And then I'm on my iMac, so I have a nice webcam and I have a microphone here. So,
I'm on a classic HP computer.
Nice.
And I'm dressed as Art the Clown, as a doll.
Very nice. I love your Halloween costume. Very beautiful. And tell Tia if she could hear us, not to stress out.
She's on Android.
Yeah, just try it slowly. Maybe if you try a different browser on the Android, like the Chrome browser. I don't know what browsers are on Android. I have an iPhone. Or if you have a laptop, that would actually be probably preferable. But either way, we'll get you on here. We'll figure it out. And if not, we'll reschedule you and make sure we do a test beforehand to get you on.
We could just watch some spooky videos since we're already live already.
Yeah. Do you have any spooky videos lined up?
I had some spooky photos of my guests.
Yeah. Well, why don't you know what? Why don't you tell the audience how you decided on this guest and how you contacted her and all of that stuff?
Well, the way I contacted this beautiful creature, this beautiful lady, this beautiful dragon lady, I saw on documentaries, like on over the internet, and I saw it on Ballcraft, I saw it on Truly, I like a lot of things, and I found it so interesting that she decided to transfer her body into a dragon, like a humanoid dragon. And I found it so fascinating and everything. The way I contacted her was through Instagram. I asked her, like, hey, would you like to be in my podcast? And she's like, yes. I'm like,
that's
yay.
awesome. That's awesome. See, Courtney, see how awesome it is when you just follow your heart and you do what you want to do and you reach out to different people. It's great. You really get to live your dream just because you've decided that that's what you want to do. So I was always happy to be a help to you. We've got some comments out there. Stefan is a little upset. He's sad.
I know.
Either Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Firefox. I guess that's the browsers that they have on the Android. Wow, look at this. So I'm just going to remind our viewers, we had the lizard man on our show, and that was such an
Yes, we
amazing
did.
conversation. And I'm imagining there's so much similar intention behind Tia's uh existence, which is what is so cool. Like it's how can you be possibly
No,
more
all the
intentional?
clowns kill him. No.
What happened? I lost you there for a second, Courtney.
Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my thing to be close up. Wait, I think we got him. Hang on.
Uh,
Nope. See, this is the biggest it can go.
ah, so all right.
Dang you. We found a better one. Ah, here's a good one. On my mom's laptop. It says completely
I
new to me and
gotcha.
everything.
I gotcha. It's all good. So Tia, I
Okay,
see
and
you're
it's
still trying to
loading.
connect. I appreciate your
Let's
diligence if
see.
you're trying different things out there. And if you can hear us at all, I don't know. But yeah, I just loved, yeah, look at that. So cool. So visual, as a visual artist, it's so cool to be able to appreciate someone else's art form of, expressing themselves this way. I'm sure you kind of feel the same way when you're drawing people.
I love the detail, and yeah, and we do have to. She does remind me a lot of Eric the Lizard Man.
Yeah. Well,
He
just
just went full, and he's like,
it's the
"I'm
same
gonna."
it's the same vibe of like, hey, I'm living my life the way I want to, and I don't care what anybody thinks. This is what I think is beautiful. This is what I want to do with myself. This is great. And her body modifications, I can see like her eyebrows there, uh, are awesome. Um,
They used a
yeah,
lot of
really,
implants.
really, really cool. Really, really cool. And I'm wondering, that's, I guess, natural facial hair. Is that her natural facial hair?
Yes,
No. Wow.
because she used to be.
Heath.
Uh, yeah,
There you
cut
go. Well, that's even more. This is like, this is the total like exact best guess we could have on this show. You know,
if it lets me
totally
load.
perfect. So we've had some amazing conversations. For those of you who are maybe tuning in for the first time, or haven't seen, we don't have her voice. Stefan is asking if we have her voice. We don't have either one of our devices,
I
uh,
know it would be lovely if I had a voice.
or else we would bring her on. But
Yeah, and
maybe
my
maybe
computer
that
is acting.
we'll see that if it pops up. We'll see her microphone pop up. But right
What
now,
is going on my computer?
but yeah, we've had the
Ah,
most
no.
amazing conversations on this show with some amazing people, who, the whole idea of trans is just like
Okay,
becoming your authentic self, you know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean,
move
and
that one now.
believing. Yeah, yeah, I see.
Yeah, I do apologize for all the technical issues. It was doing. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
you should do some test streams, and just kind of get used to some of the functionality. So I see Tia's trying again. uh
Yeah,
Still says mic and cam is not connected. um so I don't know if she needs to go into the settings of her phone and like enable that for other applications. I don't know how an Android works. Maybe Stefan knows
needle.
uh, how to enable the mic and the camera for different applications. It should be easy. I think it should also, they should put instructions right on the page when you log in if it's not working. I don't know
Yeah,
what it looks like on the phone. I don't usually come into StreamYard on the phone.
I know. Because usually you just come on your laptop, but that's what I usually do. One
Yeah,
time,
that's fine, but
only
not
time.
everybody has that, and it's not everybody's available right away. Always with
Yeah.
the laptop. Oh, I see some private chat. My browser is blocking the microphone and camera. Um,
Hmm.
Browser is blocking it. So then it would really be in the browser settings that you would need to change. And again, I'm not used to doing those kinds of things on a phone, especially an Android. I'm usually working with a computer or an app or something. Again, Tia, don't stress. If you want to text or call Courtney, you guys can reschedule another night, and you can figure it out beforehand, so that at the scheduled time you're ready to go and you're here, and all is good. That's the great thing about these podcasts. People get so nervous when they're coming on the show, like, oh my God, what do I say? What do I do? And I'm like, it's just a conversation. It's just us hanging out and talking to the world and just sharing our moment, with the whole world, and that's all it really is. So there's no reason to be nervous, no reason to stress. We're not getting paid. You're not getting paid. This is all for love. So there's no reason to stress. It depends on what she's using, Stefan says.
Yeah. Okay, maybe she try again.
Yeah. It looks like she's gonna try again. But and maybe not. I think she should call you and reschedule. But
yeah, I'm trying to see. Well, I'm trying to get my other photos out.
No.
Try something. Stop screen. Let me see. I can do this. Okay. Trying to do something. Mat Medusa. Okay, I feel very unprofessional and stuff, and I don't like that.
That's all right. Well, you know what? Let's find some content to play.
Yeah.
I think I got this hard drive that is not mounting up over here. I need to get into this hard drive. I got some cool videos. So my buddy Brian, who is on the Fool's Journey, the other show that I'm doing, he's an artist also, and he created this tarot deck, this deck of tarot cards, and his artwork is on it. But also he's got these videos that he created, which are really insane. Oh, here they are. Okay, let me share this video.
Yeah, let's see it.
It's pretty crazy.
Jesus, what is my mom's computer doing?
What is your mom's computer doing?
It's being freaky and all that.
Share video file. Okay, so my buddy Brian is he calls himself the Wizard of Odd, and he creates these light paintings with his photography, and you'll see his artwork in the video. And I'm gonna just share that. Hold on a second. Here we go. Get ready. This is very trippy. Oh, that's you bringing up another window. I thought she was popping in again. Okay, hold on. Here's the video.
Hey, Mr. Wizard. What you got that back for me? Well, what do we have here? A little boy. Won't you teach me? Who wants to learn magic? I want to be a wizard, man. Go back. Wants to learn magic. Wants to be a wizard. He wants to learn magic. Wants to be a wizard. Wants to learn magic. I'd go back if I were you. I want to be a wizard. So you want to learn magic.
So those are some of his photos.
So you want to learn
all of these photos, and the music is pretty good.
so you want to learn.
And that's this crazy book that he made.
The way to make it work. 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 It's elemental. promised the fucked up result would teach me the charm of making. The charm of making.
What's going on?
She's back. Not
Charm of making. The charm of making.
Nope, still not.
So this is him. He makes this rod spin around without
I like it.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, he's really interesting guy. He's a mystic and a shaman. He like lived in Africa for a bunch of years, and he lived in the Tibetan monks, the whole thing, and he knows real magic, like earth magic, wizard. So and that's his own music and his own artwork. He's just a really crazy dude.
Wow, that is freaking amazing.
Yeah. I'll see if I'll ask him if he wants to be on your show, if you want to have him.
Oh yeah, totally.
He's definitely very strange and wonderful for sure.
I would definitely love him to have him on the show.
So I don't know if Tia has gotten in touch with you. I don't see her messages here on the private chat, but again, no stress. We are filling the space and the time with content, so we're good.
No, she has not. Wait.
Okay.
Hold up. No, that's my boyfriend. Okay. But I did get the one picture what she used to look like.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Let me go to the tiny. There we go. There's all the pictures and stuff of her.
No, that picture of the guy with the beard.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
what the hell?
Her. That's Tia. Wow.
Yeah. If it lets
How
me.
amazing is that?
Open new. No, I just want to see.
You got to click on the window, not on.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to be.
Wow.
I don't remember what's her past name.
Cool.
But
I gotta say, much respect. Yeah, much respect. That's like so brave and true and like everything. It means so much to.
And I remember I was watching a previous documentary on her, and she discovered that she had HIV, and this was before the medicine and stuff. And she's like, "Fuck it! If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna be my true self." Right. So she decided to be the dragon lady.
There you go. Amazing. I love that. I have so much respect for it, and it really it fills me up with this amazing vibe. Just like that's cool, man. Like you get my kudos, for that.
Oh, Wait.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we got.
look at that.
Oh,
We made
oh,
we
oh,
made the
oh,
enough.
oh.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, here she is.
Hey,
Yeah,
there
we
she
did.
is.
We got it. Yes, and you look beautiful.
Hey
Hi,
there.
Oh my God.
How
Oh,
you doing? Can you hear us?
I'm doing well. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Finally, thank you for being so patient. I'm sorry for the
welcome.
technical difficulties we had.
Well, I was having
No
technical
problem.
difficulties too. You're good.
Yeah, no
I had to
problem.
open up my browser in Chrome.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you figured it out. Welcome to the Strange and Wonderful. This is the perfect place for you to be. I'm so happy that you're here. We were just talking about you and looking at some pictures, and Courtney was telling me a little bit about your story. And I gotta say, Courtney came to me with the idea of this show, and the people that she has contacted and brought on the show are all so amazing because I have so much respect for the pure intention of the way that you live and what you do. So I would love to hear your story and from your mouth and tell us how you became the Dragon Lady.
Well, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure
Mike,
to
why
meet
you
you
make
both.
on Hawaiian? Because I want to be the focus point.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got it. Go ahead, tell your story. I'm going to make you big. There you go.
Okay.
Not Alt the
Well,
clown.
my name is Tiamat Legion Medusa. I am the Dragon Lady, and I am a former banker. I decided to leave the banking industry in corporate America back in 1997 when I became HIV positive. I got the diagnosis, and I decided at that point in time that I was not going to die in this world looking like a human, because humans have been real ugly to me, towards me, throughout my life. This has been going on since I was a child. So different people throughout different parts of my life have affected my life in a very bad, negative way, to the point where when I was growing up, all I wanted to do was die. I was so unhappy with my life, and with the people that I was living with, which was my grandparents. My grandparents took me in after my mother abandoned me in the woods in the middle of the night,
Wow.
deep in the heart of South Texas. And that's where I developed my love for snakes and the love for Medusa, being the snake herself. So I wanted to transform myself when I left corporate America and become a dragon. And in the process, because I am also a male to female transsexual, I also became Medusa. So I'm Tiamat the dragon, but I'm also Medusa the snake lady.
Woof.
Awesome. I love that.
Thank you. And I've got the green eyes to go with it.
That's awesome. And you've actually tattooed your eyeballs that green color, correct?
Yes, yes. My eyeballs are tattooed green.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't do it because I'm like, ooh, I don't want to.
You know what? Most people wouldn't, but that's really what I respect so much about Tiamat is her intention and her. It's very, very specific. You know what I mean? It's like, I know what I want and I'm just going to do it, and I don't care what anybody else wants or thinks, and it's just such a beautiful way to live. And apparently you thought that you were going to die quickly, but you're still around, which is great. And you're still here, being the Dragon Lady, which is awesome. So
Yes,
yeah.
that was 26 years ago when I was at death's door. I was actually diagnosed with full-blown AIDS. So I overcame that. I survived AIDS. I overcame it. I'm a long-term survivor. And there's only a few of us left out in the world, because a lot of people who had AIDS even back in 1997 were still dying. People were still dying left and right.
Right.
And I thought I was going to be a statistic, and I'm glad that I ended up surviving, pushing through, and so I can be here today to talk to you all and
I'm
to
so
share
happy
my
that
share
you
my
are.
story with the world.
I'm so happy you are. And let me ask you a question. How is life for you today?
My life today is a little crazy.
Okay.
You know, I'm going through two transitions simultaneously. One is which is my male to female transition,
Mhm,
and I'm pretty much complete as far as my male to female transition goes.
mhm,
Um, I have feminized my face.
mhm,
I no longer look like that chipmunk cheek man that I used to be
mhm.
because I had all my teeth removed so that my face could become more slender and more
Mhm.
feminizing.
I see.
And so yes, and I only left 6 teeth in my mouth because I'm trying to mirror the mouth of a rattlesnake because the rattlesnake is my totem animal.
Great. Awesome.
Yes, because when my parents abandoned me in the middle of the woods, it was in the land of the western diamondback rattlesnake, one of the most deadly snakes in the world,
Wow.
and that's where I was abandoned. So I figured my human parents didn't want me, so I adopted the rattlesnakes as my parents, and therefore in my transition, I myself became a reptilian,
Wow.
and I feel very happy that I'm able to live my life and express myself and let people know that I may look human to some people, but
Mhm.
I'm a reptile, and I prefer
Right.
to be called a reptilian versus to being called a human.
Right. Right. So I got a couple of questions that I want to ask you. And
I mean,
and
I got some questions, Steve.
yeah, did you have when you were out in the woods, did you have some sort of spiritual experience? You said it was your totem animal. Do you have a more like spiritual connection with the earth and with animals or like what are your
Ye-
beliefs there?
Yes, absolutely. I have a strong connection to nature in general,
Mhm,
animals especially because all my life I've been around animals of all different kinds. I was raised on a farm, so we had all kinds of animals that you can name. And we as a child, I used to work in the fields and helping my grandfather harvest the crops that we had planted because we used to live off the land.
awesome.
So I have a strong affinity to snakes, especially the western diamondback rattlesnake, which is my favorite snake in the world.
Mhm, mhm.
And I needed something to connect to, as far as on a parental level and child level. So early on in my life as a teenager, I always saw myself as a snake, as a rattlesnake in particular,
Right.
because I would see how people treat rattlesnakes out in the real world.
Mhm,
Basically, when someone sees a rattlesnake, they automatically shoot it and kill it, or cut
mhm,
cut its head off
mhm, mhm.
because they're scared of it. So I feel like the rattlesnakes are misunderstood by many, and they're feared because they're misunderstood.
Right.
And I can relate to that. I am feared by some people because they don't
Sure.
understand me.
Sure.
They don't. They People just aren't used to just seeing someone like me walking down the street with snakes on their head
Right.
and being free to be me, Medusa.
Right.
Um, Recently, I moved to Galveston, Texas.
Mhm.
It's an island, and I have been warmly accepted and welcomed
Um,
here by the community. And I am happy to be here.
that's so
Since
great.
since Tiamat is an ocean goddess, she is the original dragon, the mother of all dragons,
Oh,
dating back to the ancient Mesopotamian times,
Mhm.
and that's where I got my name,
Yeah.
Tiamat.
Yeah.
I chose the name Legion for my middle name because I have, yes, as you mentioned, I used to be a male. So I have my male names, and then I have my chosen female names. And people call me by all kinds of names now. They'll call me by my male name, which is a dead name, and I don't like it when people use it, but it's okay. I understand. It doesn't annoy me when people refer to me as Richard or No Man Pan, which are my two male monikers. And but I because I try to put myself in people's shoes and understand where they're coming from. And let me tell you the story about my eyes. The reason I chose green, the main reason was because Medusa's eyes were green. So my eyes had to be green. But I was originally going to get my eyes tattooed black, solid black, which would have made me look like a walking zombie. And as far as, in my mind, fully blacked out eyes, when someone would look at me, I think they would be a lot more scared of me.
Sure.
With my green eyes, I'm a little more toned down.
Yeah.
More. So people have accepted me. I haven't had any negative comments towards me because of the color, because of my eyeball tattoos, and especially the color. People love the color that I chose. So I think I made the right decision there.
Awesome. I do too. Yeah, I think it looks great.
I love it. Man, I just want to give you a hug. If I ever meet you, I give you a little hug.
That's so great.
Unless you're not into hugs, then I understand, because I have a sister that don't like hugs, and she almost stabbed me with a spoon one time.
I do love hugs. I'm a serpent, so when I hug someone, I wrap my arms around them and I squeeze them really hard.
Oh, I love that.
I give them a good serpent squeeze.
You know, something I found which makes me really happy is that somebody like you who like you said, there are people who are afraid of you, right? And who won't approach you, who just have no clue about anything about you. They don't understand, and they're afraid, right? And the thing that I love is that you're okay with that, and not only are you okay with that, it prevents you from even having to deal with them, because they would never approach you. So the result of that is that the people who do approach you are people who do it with love and curiosity about who you are, and if they want to know more. You don't get approached by people who are going to like put you down or make fun of you. Those people just kind of stay away or look away from you, right?
Yes, and that's good, because that's also there are two reasons why I became Medusa, and why my affinity to the Greek goddess Medusa is very strong, and I chose it as my last name because in Greek mythology, the Greek god, ocean god Poseidon, raped the young maiden Medusa, who was Athena's servant, the goddess Athena. And so it angered the goddess Athena so much that her servant, her beautiful servant, Medusa was a beautiful, beautiful young lady. And because of her beauty, it caused her to be raped. And so Medusa, Athena, in order to protect Medusa, turned her into a hideous gorgon, with snakes for hair, and a split tongue, and basically a snake lady.
Right.
So a lot of people call me Snake Lady, and I kind of like that title too.
Yeah.
But also, when I was 18 years old, freshly out of high school, I moved from the small town Bruni, Texas, where I come from, where I was raised rather, and went to school and graduated. And I moved to Houston. And my first encounter, because I lived my life as an openly gay person. I was never in the closet, because I knew that I was different from the other kids, from the other boys. I wasn't like the other boys. Right. I wasn't attracted to the girls. I didn't want to be with the girls. I wanted to be with the girls' boyfriends. So,
I mean, I understand everybody wants to
but
steal my boyfriend. Everybody wants
yeah,
to steal stuff on. I'm like, well, you can have them. As
yeah.
long as you give me food.
Well, what happened is I was only 18 still, freshly out of high school, and I was in a situation in downtown Houston where I didn't know where to go
Mhm.
because I was after my mother and stepdad abandoned me. When I graduated from high school, I came to Houston. I went to Houston rather to go live with them. Ironically,
Mhm. Mhm.
because I figured over time things would change between us. But that did not happen.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
mother's husband, who is not my dad,
Mhm.
was abusive to me
Mhm.
from the time I was 5 years old,
Mhm.
and he was very, very abusive to me psychologically, emotionally, and physically.
Wow. Sorry to
And
hear.
at the age of 18, when I came to Houston, I needed a job, so I ended up landing a nighttime job uh, for Continental Showways, which is now Greyhound Bus Line.
Mm.
And so I was working at the downtown Continental Trailways station, and I had the graveyard shift. We would be in charge of transferring people's luggage from bus to bus, from destination to destination, so they could go with them and they could get them when they arrived at their destinations.
Gotcha.
And I took that job because my mother and her husband promised me that, because I didn't have a vehicle, I didn't drive at that time, that they promised me that if I took that job, that I would have no problem getting home late. Just all I needed to do was call them. They would run downtown and pick me up and bring me home. What happened was, on my first night at work, when work was finished, I called my mother, and the phone rang and rang and rang and rang and rang, and I kept calling back. And then finally she answered. And I told her, I said, "Mother, I'm ready to come home. I'm done working." And she goes, "Oh, well," I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Well, I can't come get you." And I asked her, "Why not?" I said, "You told me you were going to come get me and pick and take me home every day after work."
Mhm.
But because they knew I didn't have a way to get home, or I was in, I I went from the sticks, being raised in a small town of 300 people, to a big city of, you know 2 or 3 million people or more.
Right.
So I didn't know what was in store for me as far as coming out into the gay scene in Houston.
Oh yeah.
But when my mother told me that they could not get me, I was basically abandoned again, a second time, by my mother and her
Wow.
husband. So I was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Wow. How
I didn't know how to get home. I didn't have any money to get home with. Plus, I didn't know the bus systems, and I didn't know which way I was going to go. So I was waiting outside the bus station, just pacing back and forth, not knowing what I was going to do, because I was basically stranded for the night. And this man approached me, and he asked me what I was doing, and of course, I just explained to him what happened, because I didn't know that I couldn't trust just anybody. I wasn't raised that way. Where I come from, it was a small knit community. People trusted everybody,
Sure.
and that's how I was raised, with those values. You trust people. And what happened is that the man, after I explained to the man that I had nowhere to go, he told me that he lived right across the street from the bus station in a downtown high-rise building, apartment building.
Mhm.
And he said, "You can come stay with me and sleep on my sofa, and in the morning I can see that you get home on the bus. And
Okay.
you know, I didn't know what to say, but okay, you know, I just didn't know. I was totally naive
Right.
to living the life of a gay person. Well, what happened is I ended up getting raped that night by that man and his roommate, both of them continuously, oh, through the night.
Wow.
And I was afraid for my life. I didn't know what they were going to end up doing to me, and I had no way to run away and run out and leave them and and prevent myself from being raped. The only choice I had was to stay there.
Right.
And in the morning, they gave me 75 cents for a bus ride to go home. They told me what bus I needed to take to go home.
Wow.
So when I got home the next day, I decided that I had had enough of my mother and her husband abandoning me and turning and disappointing me. So I decided I would move out of where they lived and venture off on my own with a roommate. And that's how I ended up over time um, getting a job at a bank. I first got a job at an oil company, and then from there, I worked after 5 years of working there. I went to work for a bank called Texas Commerce Bank in downtown Houston, and which later became Chase Manhattan Bank,
Hmm.
which is now J.P. Morgan Chase.
Right.
So I went there and I started a job as a clerk, processing um, stocks and bonds and trade, basically working in the trading room where they processed the daily transactions.
Hmm.
And within 8 months, I got a promotion to become an assistant supervisor in the department. And then from there, I moved on to another department. So I got another raise and another promotion, rather, and a raise.
Well,
And over the years, over my 15 years of being at the bank, I went from being a clerk to becoming a banking officer to becoming an assistant vice president banking officer.
wow.
And then I became a vice president banking officer.
Wow. Great.
So yes, so I had a real important job. I managed. I was working in the bank's corporate client banking department.
Hmm.
I was in charge of accounts that I had a portfolio of accounts that were assigned to me, and my portfolio was pretty much. It was a pretty good mix of companies that I handled.
Right.
I handled energy companies, transportation companies, title companies like Chicago Title and Stewart Title. Those were my companies, and Chicago Title was the bank's one of the bank's top 10 clients. So I had one of the bank's top 10 clients as my client. So
Awesome.
I was very successful in my job at the bank. But like I said, when I became HIV positive, I decided to leave corporate life because I was so sick that I went from being a person that never ever missed work and
Mm.
always worked extra hours and late. I didn't get paid overtime because I was on salary, but I had a big job to do and I had a responsibility, so I
Yeah.
always worked extra hours. And um, I decided that I did not want my failing health to affect the relationship that the bank had with their clients
Mm.
because of me. So
Gotcha.
I decided to take leave and I took medical leave, and I filed for full-time disability and permanent disability, and that's where I am right now. I am still even though I have managed to survive AIDS all those years, and be back to feeling more, like myself. I decided that I was going to modify my body and transform myself into a dragon. And one of the reasons that I chose a dragon is because I have a son. I have a biological son born out of wedlock, and he and I used to play Pokemon together. And his favorite Pokemons were the dragon types, and so were mine. So when I started my male to female transition and my reptilian transformation, my son decided to reject me. So I decided, in order to keep him close to me, I would transform myself into something that he liked, which is a dragon.
No.
So I did this in part for him, to show him how much I love him. I wanted to become something that he loved,
Right.
Because he had rejected me. So I was trying my best to win him back.
Right.
And it's been 10 years since I've spoken or heard from him.
Wow.
So I was not successful in winning him back.
Wow,
And
that's
partly because of the influence of his mother, and the brainwashing that he got from her about me. So I can't fully blame him, but he is 26 years old now and a grown man.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that once he reached maturity, that he would be able to see more clearly the picture, and try and understand that I love him. I miss him.
Well, I think as long as you're alive, there still is that hope, because we get wiser every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there may be a day that he comes to realize, your connection with him.
I'm sorry, I'm a sad clown right now.
Well, I'm being cautiously optimistic about that happening, hoping it will, but asking myself, do I think it'll actually happen? I think that after 10 years and me trying to reach out to him several times, on several different occasions, with the social media, through a telephone call, and to no avail. I would get no response from him.
Sure.
So the only response I would get is, I'm not ready yet. So I don't know what that meant.
You know what? I think that, to me, I got to tell you, the reason I even said anything to you, because it's very personal issue, and I really appreciate you being so vulnerable with it. But it was, I'm not really a proclaimed like psychic or intuitive, but I am in tune with energy, and I do genuinely feel that. I know from my own experience that each day that I am alive, I get wiser. And there are things that I was like, oh, I would never do that. And now I'm open and I understand it. And I think, again, as long as you're still breathing, there's always the hope that you're going to get that call. And I truly believe that. So I hope you can receive some of that energy from me and hold on to that hope, because,
Thank you.
Yeah, I do believe that. I know Courtney has definitely, she's dying to ask you some questions. Your story.
Well, I'm like crying for the story right now.
It's amazing because it's so tragic and also so triumphant. It's really such an amazing mix to be talking to you now about the story. And again, so appreciative for your vulnerability. If you want to continue, so you haven't spoken to your son in a while, but you made this decision. I have questions about as far as your dragon transition. Do you plan to fully continue with the tattooing?
Kids. I have three. I have three dogs, and
I
Yeah,
and
just
the fourth,
I have dogs
I could
too.
see they just woke up. Yeah.
and the fourth one that I'm taking care of. So in
Okay,
my
all
room.
good. No problem. No problem.
But no, I do plan to continue to my transition until I'm fully uh, to where I feel fully complete.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've gotten a lot closer because I've been able to change my appearance to where I no longer look only human, as people say. You always hear, "I'm only human. I'm only human." Well,
Hmm.
I don't want to be only human. I want to be
Right.
more than human.
Right.
And being more than human means I meant that I needed to change myself to become something that was other than human, than just human.
Right. Right.
So that's why I chose to be becoming a dragon, a human dragon, and also in the same process, turning myself into a gorgon, um, because I wanted to reclaim the beautiful Medusa's beauty and her stature in history, where she is viewed as a villain and as a terrible monster, but she was punished by some because of something that wasn't her fault.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So when I was raped, I my rape is something that I can connect. I can connect with Medusa on
Mhm.
that because
Sure.
I was I had to grow up as a boy, uh, live my life as a boy, and end up growing up as a man, living my life as a man, trying my hardest to become the man that society expected me to be,
Mhm.
all the while feeling that it was a punishment for me
Mhm.
that I did not deserve because
Mhm.
it was not my fault that I was born into the wrong body.
Right.
I should have been born a female,
Right.
and I wasn't. So I can relate to Medusa's story in the fact that she was turned into a gorgon as a punishment,
Mhm.
and I turned myself into a gorgon as a way to exalt Medusa as a
Mhm.
gorgon
Mhm. Mhm.
because she was turned into a hideous monster. But if you have watched Medusa movies or seen Medusa on television, they always portray her as a beautiful lady with bow and arrow, of course, looking like a snake, but beautiful.
Mhm.
When in fact she wasn't beautiful. Athena turned her into an ugly creature,
Mhm. Mhm.
and Hollywood is not doing Medusa
Yeah.
uh, any favors by portraying her as a beautiful
Right.
lady with creature features.
Right. Right.
So I decided, Medusa was beautiful. She was once beautiful,
Mhm.
and I decided that I would, in transforming myself into a gorgon, I would claim the title of a gorgon and
Mhm.
do it in such a way to where I could restore and give back Medusa her beauty.
Awesome. I love it. I love that all of the thought behind it is has all of this, significance, and it's really, and that you connect to it, so closely, and as far as your own story, it's awesome. I only have really one more question, and I feel like I may be way
What,
off
can
base.
I add this one thing before
What's
we go
that?
on to this question? I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say, everybody got different views on beauty because I, I mean, I like monsters, so it's just everybody got a personal view on beauty because you might think one thing is ugly to someone, but to Noah, it could be the most beautiful thing on the earth. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank
That's a wonderful
you.
sentiment, and
Well,
that's I think that's where a lot of this intention comes from. But what I was going to ask you, and I think you kind of answered it because of your experience in the woods and your connection to the snake, the creature, the actual earth creature. But you did use the word reptilian, which kind of made me think of almost like the extraterrestrial kind of version of reptilian, and I think because you are you are human, and so now you uh,
This dog's like, no, she's not. She's not human. I can understand that. I have a myself.
Okay, sorry. I had to go
That's
take
all,
care of the
that's
kids.
all, it's all good. So I guess my question was: is there any sort of connection? Do you have any sort of connection with? You said you don't want to be human. You're kind of outside of humanity, right? Is there any connection with extraterrestrials, or is it just more like earthly creatures like snakes and mythical creatures like dragons?
Well, I think I can answer your question by explaining to you how I feel about life and death. I feel that when I die from this world, I will be returning to my reptilian nature fully as a reptile. So yes, there is a strong connection to the
Cosmic energy of
cosmic energy of
yeah.
and you hear about reptilians being ugly creatures, being you need to be afraid of them. That when it kind of makes me sad because there again goes the misunderstanding of reptilians, that humans really do not understand reptilians, and they don't understand reptilians because they're afraid of them.
Right.
Just like a lot of people are afraid of snakes just because it's a snake.
Right.
And just like the western diamondback rattlesnake is so misunderstood and just killed randomly by people out in the woods. When I grew up in South Texas, people would always kill rattlesnakes simply because they were venomous.
And they're afraid.
But a rattlesnake won't hurt someone if they're left alone.
Right.
And neither will a reptilian. And humans try to demonize things they don't understand.
Yep.
So, and I'm quite happy being called a demon. In fact, I wear it proudly as a badge of honor, being called a reptilian demon.
Right.
Now, a lot of people think that I'm a devil worshiper because of my horns, but nothing could be further from the truth, because my horns are my dragon horns. They're not devil horns. They're my dragon horns.
Right.
Dragons have horns. People, need to understand that.
Well, one thing I will say is I hope you definitely feel welcome here at the Strange and Wonderful, because our views are totally like you said. I am not afraid of reptilians. I believe all creatures, worldly and otherworldly, are connected to source, all in some way, right? So to me, we are all one, and that holds true, no matter what dimension you're talking about. So again, I hope you've felt very welcome here. I know Courtney's got a couple of questions for you. I know she's got her book of questions, and she's the one who started the show to put the spotlight on people like you, who just kind of, I think you say a lot, oh, people just don't get you, but I think people don't get it, and you do get it, and it's like they just have to catch up, and,
yes, that's true.
Actually, oh, sorry. Go on.
I started my transformation 26 years ago, and over the years, at the beginning, it was really scary because, like, people, my friends, my family, they would run away from me, and I didn't know if somebody was going to end up hurting me because of what they didn't like what they saw in me. But I was damned if I was going to go change and undo everything that I'm doing to myself. I didn't care what people thought about me, and I still don't care. I mean, it's great to have people's support, and I have now through the years, as people have become knowledgeable about me, and they've learned about my story through the interviews that I've done and such.
Mhm.
Uh, I have been accepted by a lot of more people,
Yeah.
and so I was able to turn the tide of rejection and unacceptance,
Right.
lack of acceptance from people, to people actually liking me and wanting to be around me, when at first they would run away from me, and now they're like, oh, I want to be close to you. Let's take selfies.
That's
Can I
right.
send, I want to send a picture of me to me and you to my granddaughter in Australia
Oh,
or
That's
in Europe. And so
that's
I get a lot of that right now.
Yeah, I love that. So you've actually been able to attract love, to you by being who
Yes.
you are, just by being who you are, because it's so authentic, and I just have so much respect for it.
and I
Yeah.
I know, like, for years I would not accept who I am and stuff, my weirdness and everything. I was like, oh, I had to be normal, I had to do this. And then one day I saw people like Tia, Eric, Eric Lizzleman, a makeup artist that has doll joints on her knees, which I have doll joints on my knees. I don't think y'all can see them, but I can send you a photo of them. They finally embrace who you truly are and just fuck it and do what, as long as you're not hurting anybody or hurting yourself, do
Yeah.
what make you love. But
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. But
Absolutely.
do something that you feel. I cannot English. um, do something that you love that makes you feel love.
Yes.
Mm.
And it makes me feel more complete.
Yeah.
And as I continue to shed parts of my humanity, of my humanness,
Mhm.
and replace them with my reptilianness, if there's
Mhm.
such a word.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But
shedding the human skin to reveal your true self.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
yes, I'm
And-
doing it. I'm doing a full body transformation. I'm getting tattooed head to toe in rattlesnake scales. I have had my ears removed because snakes don't have ears,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I had my nose modified
Mhm.
to. And my nose modification was inspired by Lord Voldemort, who I am totally in love with. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping they'll make a Harry Potter series and hire me to be Lord Voldemort's wife or something
Oh,
like
that
that.
would be awesome. Amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's great. So Courtney, did you have some questions there? I know
Yes,
you have
I do.
you always have your book ready to go.
Yes, I do. Okay, Miss Dia, what is strange and wonderful about yourself?
Strange and wonderful about myself is that I have disconnected from humanity, and it's not. I'm not doing it in a mean and ugly, negative way, talking humans down. I'm simply telling my story from
Yeah.
my personal experience. And some people misinterpret what I say and say, well, you just don't like humans. No, that's not true. I'm a dragon. Dragons' responsibility in this world or in their life is to protect humans
Mhm.
and to love humans. And I experienced so much pain in life at the hands of humans, people who should have loved me, like my parents, my grandparents,
Mhm.
and all I did was get abuse all the way from the time I was in the third grade until I left home after I graduated from high school.
Mhm.
And that abuse, of course, it had an effect on me because I'm still undergoing psychological therapy for that
Mhm.
and being treated with medication for PTSD.
Mhm.
And, you know, in, in a nutshell, I had to transform myself into something that wasn't human in order for me to not be over here upset about all that's happened to me and holding the entire human race in contempt. So I just, becoming a dragon, it helped calm me and my mental state of mind down to the point where I can say, I love humans. I'm a dragon. Dragons love humans. The dragons aren't mean. And the reason I'm Medusa is because I'm protective of myself, just like Athena created Medusa to protect her. I turned myself into a gorgon to protect myself from ever getting raped again. When men look at me, they're scared of me, and some of that is okay with me because I want some people to be scared of me, especially as I see myself protecting myself from ever getting raped again.
Yep.
And so I did to myself what Athena did to Medusa, turned myself into a gorgon in order to protect myself.
Well, it's very significant. I think the whole thing is very significant because you suffered all of this abuse, and then you detached yourself from it. You say you detached from humanity, and you went within and you found the love for yourself. And once you did that, now you said the people that are around you, they want to be around you. They're showing you love. You've attracted love to yourself in humans.
Exactly. I recently, as of June of this year, I moved to Galveston Island, Texas. So now I am an island girl, but I am also right by the ocean where I belong, because Tiamat is an ocean goddess.
Right.
And so I'm in my element right here. I feel like I'm in the right place where I need to be. And Galveston is big enough, yet small enough to where I don't have to worry about people attacking me on the streets. Let me digress. I had moved to Los Angeles for 2 years, and this was just back in. I moved there in 2019, and in 2021 I moved back to Texas, home which is my home.
Right.
Because I was getting too many threats on the streets of downtown Los Angeles.
Wow.
Threats to my life, threats to my dog's life. And I decided I needed to just hook them out of there and come back home to Texas.
Yeah.
And that was the right choice for me to do, because Texas welcomed me back with open arms.
Yeah, it sounds like Galveston Island is the place for you to be. It's almost like you found your tribe there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
That's great. That's awesome.
Okay. Have you always pictured yourself to be the person you are now?
Well, from the time that I was in the 3rd grade, I started having problems at home with my grandfather, and that's when he started abusing me. And I decided that I didn't fit in. I didn't fit into the family mold. I knew that I was different. I didn't really understand the whole gay thing. That I didn't know I was gay until I was a little older, and I was able to understand what it meant to be gay.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I was able to understand why I was attracted to the boys in school and not the girls.
Right.
But I have always seen myself as someone different, as something different. So when I left my job at the bank, the question to myself was, okay, what am I going to do with myself? I know what I want to do. Am I going to be able to fulfill this? And luckily, through body modification, I was able to fulfill my dream of becoming a dragon, the first human dragon in the world, and the embodiment of the Greek goddess Medusa herself.
Nice. And what kind of adoration has that provide? Like, what's your most proud achievement as far as being recognized? I mean, I know for me, I used to work in the tattoo industry, so I know you probably showed up at a lot of the conventions, the tattoo conventions. There was, a couple of personalities that would show up at some time. What do you feel like is some achievements that you can be proud of?
Well, um, as far as tattoo conventions, I have basically shied away from tattoo conventions
Oh,
themselves
okay.
because sadly, there's a lot of uh, homophobia and transphobia
Mm-hmm.
within the tattooing community.
Mm. I
And
didn't think of that. Yeah.
I went to a couple of tattoo conventions where people were giving me a look of scorn,
Oh,
looking me up
wow.
and down and giving me a. So I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe tattoo conventions just
Not the right crowd.
aren't the place.
Right.
They're not the place for me. So I
Okay.
tend to stay away from them.
Okay.
And I apparently I'm way over the heads of all those people, and
Right. Right.
I'm too much for them to grasp and understand and appreciate.
Right. So where do you find acceptance? What kind of
I
what kind of
find I actually find the greatest acceptance just walking out in the community where I live,
oh, that's
just
amazing.
being my pleasant self, because I love everybody. I that's how I start with people. I start loving people. Now, when someone gives me a reason to not love them and to feel otherwise about them,
Right.
um, that's their fault. Freya.
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
your dog loves you too.
Yes.
Well,
I
no,
love
and
you.
that's really honorable considering, the story that you've shared with us, and how you kind of were showed not to necessarily trust people, but you still pushed through, became who you are, and to say that you still love people. I was going to say, when you're like, oh, I'm like, I separated from humans, I was going to say, well, you still like us, don't you? Because
Yeah.
we're here, and we love you. We love that you're here telling us your story, and sharing your vulnerability with us.
Well, it's a dragon's responsibility. It's a dragon's way of life to protect and to love humans. So I felt that I needed to become something that was something that loved and protected humans, no matter what.
Right.
And because it was my duty as a dragon. So as a dragon, I feel it's my duty to be kind to people,
Wow.
to be accepting of people, even people who aren't accepting of me,
Right.
accept them for who they are. If they're misinformed, if they don't understand me, I do give them an opportunity to understand me
Right.
and to get to know about me through my interviews. And a lot of people have come around and fully understand my story and support it. Now, there are some people who are just, they were born with a bad bone in their body,
Right.
and I could offer them the world on a silver platter, and they would still not be happy.
Right.
So,
Yep. Yep.
there's a mix of people, both pro and con,
Sure.
me, but over the years, more people have been accepting than unaccepting.
That's
I am
great.
I am presently doing shows at a local gay bar here where I do drag.
Awesome.
So the community has, like I said, has accepted me and welcomed me, and now I'm doing shows, and I love being on the stage. I love doing male and female impersonations because as a dragon, I am a non-binary person.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't. People ask me, "Well, are you a man or a woman?" And my answer is, quite frankly, I am both and I am neither,
Mm.
because I don't feel like I should have to be forced to choose one over the other.
Right. You're
Uh,
fluid at any moment. You're whatever you need to be.
yes, I'm just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
me as I am, leave me as I am.
Right.
Just don't rain on my parade, because when someone tries to rain on my parade, that's when my fangs come out and my claws come out, and
Yeah.
I protect myself.
Sure.
But I'm never mean and ugly to people unless they're mean and ugly to me. Then, like I tell people, if you summon the bitch will come out.
Come back, yeah. Like
But
you
she,
want to. It's like
so don't summon the bitch.
it's like it's like you want to fuck around. You're about to find out.
Right. That's right. That's right.
exactly.
Yeah. So, what do you do as a career?
Well, I am no longer working, but I try to do as much as I can for the community. I'm involved in some charity projects. Some of the performances that I do at the as in my shows are to raise money for charity causes and to raise
Awesome.
awareness.
That's awesome.
We just had a fundraiser put on by Chachi Pedraza Van Wales, the ocean, the goddess of Galveston. She runs a drag show at Robert's Lafitte's here in Galveston, and that's where I've been invited to go perform with them and help them out with their endeavors. And as long as I am all for doing things for charity and helping others out, because I feel like I'm 61 years old right now.
No.
And I've lived a long life, and I have a lot to be thankful for. Even with all the negativity and the ugliness and the bad that has happened to me in my life, I still find the beautiful, positive things in life to look at and to embrace.
Yeah.
So I it allows me to, one, treat everybody with the same amount of respect. And it allows me to be more cognizant of the fact that, yes, I made myself to look different. So yeah, people are going to stare. They are going to have questions. They are not going to understand. Some will. And so it's my job to help those people who don't understand, to help them understand, but they have to be willing to open up their mind in order to be able to do that.
Right.
Some people have such closed minds that
They don't even want to.
You can't drive a wedge between their closed mind to open it up.
Right.
I always think that a mind is like a parachute. It can only save you when it opens.
That's right. That's true. It's a good saying. I like that saying.
Me too. I like that saying too. Okay. What do your family think about your lifestyle?
My family is just a big mix. I have some supporters, and then I have other family members who believe that I am a devil worshiper, or that I am the devil himself.
Wow.
But I would have to correct them and say, no, I am the devil herself. If you're going to call me a devil,
that's right. Use the right gender.
Yeah, get the right gender. Who says the devil has to be a man?
That's right.
It's just like, people refer to God as a man. Why does God have to be a man? And why does it always have to be a man? Right. What about the women? The women aren't represented.
Right.
So I'm trying to represent the women who are.
I don't even like the idea that God is a human. So I don't even, when they talk about him or her and God, I'm like, no, God is the universe. God is everything. God is not a form that you can define as a him or a her.
Exactly. That's you hit the nail right on the head right there.
There you go.
And do you feel alienated by the normal society for being your true self?
Yes, I do feel alienated by normal society, because there are people who I used to talk to and be friends with and go out and do things. I used to belong in a billiards league because I love to shoot pool. And when I got my first set of horns, I walked up to say hello to some people that were in a tournament with me, and they simply would not shake my hand. They told me, "Oh no, we believe in Jesus."
It has nothing to do with Jesus.
That
Well,
was their response, and I was like,
right.
what does believing in Jesus have anything to do with me
Right.
being
I don't know. I think
nice to
Jesus
you?
probably find you pretty rad. If Jesus is like,
That's right. Jesus would probably think you're pretty cool. But
Yeah.
you know what?
Well,
I
you
mean,
know,
I
people
think
are
that, go
people
ahead.
are always asking me, "Have you found Jesus?"
yes.
And my answer to that is no, because I did not know he was lost.
That's
But
right.
but you can check the temple.
All right. Last time I checked, Jesus is home.
Yeah.
Yeah, check the temple. When he got lost in the Bible, he was in the temple. He said, "Mother, did you not know that I would be in my Father's house?" See, people automatically assume that because I am this, that I am totally clueless about God, religion, the Bible,
Right.
when it's completely, totally the opposite.
I was going to say, I think it's
Um,
the opposite. You
Yeah.
understand more than most people, I think. And that's what I was going to say. The secret, people search forever. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? And the meaning of life is to be
It's,
yourself, right?
exactly. It's what
You
you're
came
like
to this
now.
earth to be you, and that's why I love speaking to people like you, Tiamat, because you are you undeniably more so than most people would ever be themselves. You know what I mean?
yes, and you just reminded me of my theme song. I have a theme song
Oh, you got a thing.
that I have claimed as my song. Is called "I Am What I Am."
Mhm.
It's sung by several different people, but I love the Gloria Gaynor's version and then Shirley Bassey's version, which
Awesome.
I did recently in the show, uh,
Nice.
because I want people to understand that I am what I am. I am my own
Absolutely.
special creation.
Yeah.
The lyrics say that I am what I am. I am my own special creation. Those lyrics right there are everything to me.
Perfect. It's a
Totally
perfect
me.
description of you. It's absolutely you. You've created the you that you want to be. It's really amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Do your romantic, if you have a romantic partner, do your sorry, Art the Clown cannot speak. Well, Art the Clown doesn't even talk to begin with. Okay. Do your romantic partner support you, and how do they came into your life if you do have one?
Well, since I started my transformation, I have been single because I had a partner of 20 years.
Mm,
We were living gay life together.
mhm.
But when he died, that's when I did not want to continue living that life. I needed to transform and let the woman in me live because the man in me had all these years to live already, and it was time for him to go to rest and for the woman in me to come out. That's when I decided in 2010 to begin my male to female transition.
Cool.
And did you ever have any luck with dating, or do you just decide like, no, I'm gonna be living my best life being single? For
That that was my initial thought and where stance that I'm turning myself into a gorgon because I don't want men to look at me uh, and want me. Basically, to try to protect myself from getting raped again. So it's a protective measure.
ah,
My transfer, and so I don't date. I haven't dated anyone in 13 years.
wow,
That's how long my partner has been dead.
Mhm.
So I've been alone and single and very lonely because it is a very lonely life. Because a lot of men are scared of me, and I feel that one of the reasons that they're scared of me is because they don't know how to explain to them to their family and friends. Oh, this is my girlfriend. Oh, she's a dragon lady, and she's Medusa, and she's
Right.
cut off her ears and split her tongue and colored her eyes, and people are going to go, "Whoa, that's just way too much for me to grasp. I just can't wrap my brain around
it's like once they get to know you, dude, like, oh, you're not that bad.
Right.
that." Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that's what a lot of people end up saying once they get to know me. That they actually come up and tell me, they say, when I first saw you crossing the street the other day, I was so scared of you. But now that we're talking, I know who you are. I understand your story, and I support you. And so you have me on your side now. So through patience and just being very kind to everybody, I have won a lot of people over, and
Awesome.
that to me is one of my life's greatest accomplishments, achievements, that I was able to change people's minds all over the world to where they now see modified people as not some people to get to be feared, but maybe to be appreciated.
Yeah, that's very significant, and I think that's kind of the idea of this show. We hope that people watch this show and see interviews like this with people like you, and are like, wait, that's just a person with a story, just like me, like, and I think that's the importance of it. So once again, I know I've thanked you a couple of times, but thank you for being so vulnerable with us and sharing so much. I really
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's totally my pleasure. And I'm so glad we're doing this for Halloween so I could wear my snakes for you.
Okay. Okay, I have one last question.
Oh, this is my favorite.
If you could go back in time to your child self, what would you tell them and why?
If I could go back to my child self, I would tell my grandparents that they need to be more open-minded and understanding and loving. Because like when I left home after I graduated from high school, I was 18. I was old enough to leave home, and I approached my grandfather and I said, "Grandpa," I used to call him Papa. I said, I just want to let you know that I'm leaving home. And I'm leaving. I'm going off to live my own life. And he was like, "Well, where are you going?" I said, "I don't know yet, but there's got to be something out there for me." So I left home, and that's when I started my life in Houston, where I lived for 45 years, Houston, Texas. And then I moved around to several different cities. I lived in New York for half a year. I lived in Pennsylvania for a few months. I lived in Albuquerque for 2 years, and in Los Angeles for 2 years. And now I'm settled. I am where I feel comfortable, and I don't want to leave. I will never leave Galveston. I will never leave Galveston.
It sounds like you found a good place there. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
You found your home.
I'm really happy for you for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I spent all of my childhood crying myself to sleep because I was so unhappy at home. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have my mother and my father with me. I cried for my mother. I cried for my father. I cried myself to sleep so many nights for so many years mm-hmm. that I just felt like I needed the safety net or the comfort of my mother, which never came. And now that I'm 61 years old and she's 80 something, I learned to accept her decision mm-hmm. to turn her back on me because she cannot deal with all of this.
Right.
This is too much for her. She's so ingrained in her Catholicism and her being a Christian mm-hmm. that anything with horns is automatically identified as worshiping the devil. But cows have horns, sheep have horns, bulls have horns, bison have horns.
Maybe right. Angels have horns.
Angels have horns. God made angels with horns. People ignore that fact, but that's true.
Yeah, it's a good point. a good point. Well, again, Tiamat, I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been talking to you and learning about you. And I hope our audience and anybody who watches this video now or in the future feels the love that I feel. We really appreciate it. I guess, Courtney, I don't know if you've got anything to say, but I'm wondering if
I just want to thank you for coming on my show, and thank you, Michael, for coming to the show too. I was trying to host this all by myself, but got technical issues and stuff. But hey, it happens. Who
It
knows?
does happen, but we were able to persevere, and here we are. We were able to do the
Here we
interview.
are.
I know next time I'm gonna do it by myself.
So
Unless,
I do
unless Michael's like, okay, I'm coming to save you.
since we did make it and we did get through the show and have this wonderful conversation, I would love for you to leave our audience with some Tiamat words of wisdom, on how to live a happy life.
First, what comes to mind on how to live a happy life is recognizing that we as humans, the 7+ billion humans in the world, we are all each individuals. None of us are the same, except twins, maybe twins, but
Even we're a little different.
Still, we are all. Everyone is an individual. And it's okay to be different. I believe that in order to get other people to accept you for who you are and for your differences is for you to stand up and say, I know I'm different and I like myself this way.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you'll grow to like me over time. So I really believe that the human race itself has many problems. And one of the biggest problems that humans have that other creatures on this planet do not have is hatred in their heart towards other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lion doesn't hate a zebra. A lion will attack a zebra and eat it because it's food, but they don't go hurting them just because they're zebras.
If anything, they appreciate the zebra.
Yeah. So, learning to appreciate yourself for who you are and not letting society dictate to you what you can or cannot be is a very important way of showing the world your self-love. And I think that's where it all begins, self-love. And from
Beautiful.
the self-love, it emanates from inward outwardly to people. And I think if people loved themselves a lot, there would be a lot less anger and hatred within the human race towards one another. I just wish the human race would wake up and be more loving and respectful of each other's differences instead of making those differences things that set us apart.
Right.
Those differences should bring people together and say we are all different.
Celebrate the uniqueness.
Whether or not we have snakes in our head or real hair and no horns, we are all individuals and all deserving of love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? I could not have paid you to say anything better and more perfect than that. That is the same advice that I would give to everybody. It all starts with self-love so that you can love everybody else. If you can't love yourself, that's where you got to start, right? That's where you got to start.
Right. I find that a lot of people who are mean and nasty and ugly to me on the internet, I feel sorry for them because they have a problem.
It's a reflection of them,
and I am not that problem. They're wanting to make me believe and feel like I am the problem, but the problem is them in their head and in their heart.
God bless.
I remember one day I got into almost a debate with this one person because this one guy, he was in a relationship with like 3 dolls, and I said he found his self-love. He found it something that works for him, and I was like, that's beautiful. And then one woman's like, Oh, so you think self-love is all you need? I'm like, yes. Self-love can be manifest in many ways.
Yes, absolutely. And once people see how, if someone sees that a person loves themselves and is comfortable in their own skin, no matter what color skin it is,
Mhm.
or where they're from, whether or not they like it, they're going to respect that person for their self-love,
Mhm.
and hopefully learn to love their own selves
That's right.
through the example that other people are setting.
That's right. Because it's very authentic. Self love does show through. So it's
Yes.
very authentic. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But Tiamat, don't go away. Stay here. I'm gonna just put you backstage for a second.
Okay, Michael.
I've got to take off. We're gonna run the outro. But I'm sure Courtney wants to talk to you. So I'm gonna put everybody backstage when we run the outro. And who you got coming on next week, Courtney? Do you have next week set up?
Yes, I do. I have my friend Brittany Spice. She's the adult performer. She can perform clown content, monster content, all sorts of content, and
Awesome.
very taboo stuff too. That I don't understand why people are into it, but I'm like, I don't understand the brother and sister stuff. I don't understand the incest, but hey, someone's paying for it, and she
We'll
is very
understand it next
popular
week.
on TikTok as well.
Awesome.
Her clown content, and she is coming on the show. She would probably discuss about her skulls and her collections of oddities and everything.
Very cool.
You know,
Awesome.
I have a question of y'all that was asked by a friend of mine that I was talking to about earlier, that I was going to be on this podcast interview with y'all, and he asked me where y'all are based, and I said, you know what? I never even asked them. So
Oh,
where are y'all based?
I'm based in Northwest Louisiana.
Oh,
and I am in Long Island, New York.
oh, so here in the U.S. Awesome.
Yeah. So we're all across the country.
I'm not comfortable giving out my city because I don't want to get stalked.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
good.
yes.
All good.
Yeah.
All right. So stick around. Like I said, Tiamat, we'll see you guys next week here on The Strange and Wonderful.
Wonderful.
We
Bye
love you.
bye, yokes. Or yokes. Bye bye, folks.
Thank you.